Helldivers 2 keeps surpassing all expectations, and one of those expectations is not having enough player space on the servers.
We need to talk about Helldivers 2 because holy crap, talk about an unexpected meteoric success. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, is a game that was announced all the way back in May 24th, 2023 during one of the PlayStation Showcase streams. This is made by a game development studio called Arrowhead, which is under the PlayStation banner, and this is basically, think of Starship Troopers, the video game where you go in and fulfill objectives during a mission in this sort of like sandbox map with a group of up to 4 players.
Okay, more like the movie Starship Troopers, where there's literally no plan and people get thrown into the meat grinder because people need to be thrown into the meat grinder.
And you squash bugs and try to fend off swarms as you complete objectives, and it's just pure chaotic fun as highlighted in trailers like this. The game looks gorgeous, it plays really well, it's just a ton of fun. Now, when it was announced back then, you can see right here the trailer had roughly 500,000 views, which is pretty respectable and suggested that this game would see a decent enough audience and player base.
Actually, no, 500,000 views is kind of complete garbage, not gonna lie, honestly. 500,000 views on your trailer? Yeah, that's not impressive at all, honestly.
But then the launch trailer got even more traction. You can see right here, 827,000 views. This trailer was released last month, back in January 6th.
Okay, that's better now. That's a lot better, honestly. Almost 1 million views. I don't know. If a game releases without 1 million views on the trailer, is there even any hype around it? I would argue and say probably not really that much now. But man, Helldivers completely turned it around, huh?
16th, 2024. But even then, that didn't indicate the level of success we'd see for Helldivers 2. Helldivers 1 was received really well, and there was like a niche audience for it. And with Helldivers 2, it was expected that it'd do better than Helldivers 1, but, you know, it would just do kind of like pretty good.
Who expected it to do better than Helldivers 1? Who predicted this? Absolutely no one.
But it wouldn't like blow up the way it did. Looking at how Helldivers 2 is performing right now, it's actually kind of crazy. It started off really well on PC, on Steam, with a launch that had roughly 300,000 players. But you can see right here that that number has not only sustained, but very quickly climbed, constantly breaking new records, eventually in the 400,000s. And now look at this huge spike right here. This is just today.
The reason that it can't surpass even bigger records is because, again, they don't have server space. People are stuck in the login queue and they have no idea, do they have to wait a minute or 10 years. There are people who are not logging out and leaving their PCs on overnight and just continuously are logged into the game because they don't want to wait in the login queue. It is what it is.
We're seeing an all-time peak of 439,974 players. Huge numbers that the developers did not expect. I mean, looking at the top all-time peak concurrent players of all time, Helldivers 2 is sitting at a respectable 20th place, surpassing games like Starfield and, you know, Monster Hunter World. Even Grand Theft Auto 5.
I mean, it's not hard to surpass Starfield, honestly.
5 had less all-time peak.
I go to the toilet and I surpass Starfield in every aspect possible.
Concurrent players than Helldivers 2 did, sitting in 25th place with 364,548, which again, very respectable, but to see Helldivers 2 skyrocket to the level that it did at the rate that it did, it's pretty amazing stuff. Oh my god, did I just see the all-time peak players change to 400?
And they're right above Among Us. But Among Us was... I mean, Helldivers is a huge cultural phenomenon. People are talking about it, it's great, it's fun, it's all of those things. But Among Us kind of had, you know, more traction, I feel, in the broader universe, because it was just so much more memeable. Even though Helldivers 2 technically has so many memes that you can do about it, it's crazy.
57,000. Okay, so the number keeps climbing. And this is just PC, keep in mind. This game also obviously came out on PlayStation 5. There you can see that Helldivers 2 has now surpassed both Fortnite and Call of Duty, taking the #1 spot on the top played games chart on PlayStation. Wow. That tweet was published 2 days ago, February 18th.
If only anyone cared about PlayStation and Xbox, then it would be something else. But no one does. So, who cares? Xbox, Game Pass, PlayStation numbers. Just stop, okay? Just stop.
It is now 2 days later, February 20th, and still Helldivers 2 is at the top of PlayStation
It's itching.
Store's charts. It is performing incredibly well. It's doing so well, in fact, that Arrowhead has had to reevaluate their live service plans for Helldivers 2 as a whole. In a good way, they're expanding on it significantly, seeing how well the game is performing, how much money the game is making, and how much more they can support this game, which is why it's being reported that Helldivers 2 is recruiting more developers to accelerate and beef up its content plans. So we're just scratching the surface for Helldivers 2, and already the base game on its own is incredibly fun and has enough content, especially for $40, that it's very easy to imagine a very successful long-term life for this game. I can only imagine what this game could look like years from now. That's as long as they handle the live service aspect right and maintain this game well with compelling content additions that will keep people playing this game for years to come. For now, though, things are looking good, not just commercially, but also critically. You can see right here a favorable 83% or 83 out of 100 score from 52 critic reviews. The user rating is just about the same with an 8.4 from 825 users. And looking at...
Yeah, currently an 8 for Helldivers seems definitely kind of on point, doesn't it?
The critic reviews, you can see that a lot of them sit in the 80s and 90s, with very few falling below 80.
Dude, I actually want him to go and read some negative ones. That would be hilarious.
Very few being in the yellow with a 70, but there's not a single...
I want to see what Kotaku has to say about Helldivers and democracy and freedom.
Review that is outright...
Which is not actually democracy and freedom at all. Helldivers is a dystopian future where Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden became one, okay? That's actually what Helldivers is, unironically, lore-wise.
Right, completely.
But it's hilarious, okay? You don't vote for candidates in Helldivers. You just say things that you like, and then the machine votes for you.
Negative about this game, and the vast majority fully put out there that while it's not a perfect game, it's just so much fun and so addictive that it's hardly surprising that this game has gained so much...
No negatives, huh?
...traction over the course of these past few days.
Filtered by platform, PS5. Oh, Young, you shill.
Alone. I think one Twitter user summarized best why this game has garnered such popularity, stating, quote, "The game launched at $40 with a lot of content. Developers have had such good communication with the community. It reminds..."
Okay. Well, let's be real for a moment here. $40 for a game, or $70? I really don't think most people give a shit. As long as the game is good, people are gonna pay $60, $70 for the game. No problem at all. Okay? If your life is gonna be drastically altered and changed by the fact that instead of $40, you have to pay $70, you should not even own a PC or a console. You should rethink your life, because you're a literal bum. You're a literal absolute loser. You're someone that cannot be trusted with money. You're the reason the government wants to control people's lives and tell them what to do, because you're living proof that you are completely incapable of actually doing anything for yourself in life and need to be put on a leash like an animal, okay? So, if this game is only good because it's $40 instead of $60 or $70, you're a problem. I don't like you.
Reminds you of the 360 PS3 era of pure co-op fun. The gameplay itself is so incredible. Good level up system too. And it's just one of those games where the most fun stuff is very emergent, because the game has just all these really cool systems that work in tandem and can cause a lot of chaos depending on the player's actions and how they engage with the game. And so you see tons of clips online of people posting some of the most insane and most fun and like hilarious gameplay footage, and that spreads across social media and allows this game to gain further traction. The microtransactions feel so light, it doesn't damage the game. And I looked at the store, and, you know, the microtransactions compared to many other games that I've seen are, you know, much more affordable and priced more reasonably. They're relatively...
You gotta love Young when he's actually afraid to say anything negative about the game just because people like game or people dislike game, and then you can't say anything positive. Bruh, their microtransactions are fairer, but they're not cheaper, they're not better, they're nothing, okay? They're just fairer. They're still microtransactions, and microtransactions bad, but it's better than anything else we got. You know, it is what it is. Microtransactions by themselves are not great, but they don't have any real pay-to-win type of things, and, you know, that's kind of it.
Cheap compared to other games that I've seen, and a lot of it's just basically cosmetic, and the co-op nature of this game means that even, you know, what...
Yeah, Diablo's microtransactions are also cosmetic, by the way. Are you defending Diablo 4 microtransactions, Youngie?
Slight advantages you might get in microtransactions only serves to aid the cooperative element of the game because you're ultimately working together. The main focus is PvE. They won't do PvP and get a toxic community, and it gives you a good adrenaline when finishing a mission.
True. I think, dude, we have seen so many games that are PvE in general, but they have a huge PvP focus and they completely fail. World of Warcraft. It's primarily PvE, but there's a thriving PvP community, but it's impossible to actually manage it. They fail at every aspect. Classic, Season of Discovery, retail. It's a shit show. Destiny 2 also has a pretty big PvP aspect, right? Which is plagued with cheaters and is a shit show, okay? If you're gonna do PvE and PvP, you're probably completely butchering the PvP, honestly. And if people want to play a PvP game, people go play a PvP game. If you want a PvP, then there you go. Go play Valorant, go play CSGO, go play League of Legends, Dota, you know, any other game like that. It is what it is.
And so hard not to say just one more game type of experience. As someone who's put in a couple matches into this game, I can confirm that it is an outrageous game, pure, chaotic, epic fun. And the most fun set pieces in this game are not scripted. They happen as you just play through the game and as the chaos unfolds. And yeah, I can see why this game has attracted so much attention and why it's got its hooks in so many people, why it's so addictive and why it's hard to kind of put down. Not to mention its Starship Troopers vibe and the sort of satirical humor that is imbued in the game, combined with the fact that it just plays really well and it feels good to actually shoot the bugs and to be able to deploy all of those like airstrikes that you attain as you upgrade your ship. Like the upgrade and progression system of this game is really satisfying because the new stuff you get, the new weapons and equipment, the new sort of stratagems, if you will, that you can call from your ship to deliver hell upon the infestation down in the ground. All that stuff really escalates and makes for really epic gameplay, especially if you coordinate with other players and, you know, you get like a good arsenal of weapons and equipment and airstrikes that you can call down. And also you can like summon turrets and everything, and it's also very strategic. This game has it all, really, when it comes to fun co-op action. And just looking at social media, you can see the kinds of clips that are spreading, like this individual here who protected a fellow player by jumping in and taking a bullet or a missile for him. And then right here we have an individual who pulled out this crazy stunt where they pretty much ran circles around this infestation, this army that had him surrounded, and he's waiting for the extraction ship to come in.
Infestation army? Those are just the Roombas.
And he's...
Wait, do you think he maybe hasn't actually played the game and he's just pretending? I mean, most people who don't even play the game know that there's bugs, and then there's Roombas with, you know, swords attached to their, you know, wheels and whatnot. So, interesting.
Somehow, like, surviving through all this, and eventually managed to safely extract and, you know, do some crazy maneuvers to make this happen. Again, very emergent gameplay where the most epic stuff is not scripted. It's all based on just player actions and systems that come together.
The funny part about this, it's bugged. funny. I was thinking, wait a minute, that looks a little bit awkward. But yeah, now that you see it, it's actually bugged. Look,
is not scripted. It's
that's good.
all based on just player actions and systems that come together to allow players to really get creative and insane. You got epic situations like these that highlight just how cool some of these like airstrikes can be and how satisfying it can be to dispatch outposts and hordes of enemies with these.
True.
And then right, you got comedic moments like this where a missile comes in at just the most opportune moment good. Before it it blows the player up. There is friendly fire in this game as well, so that makes for some interesting and fun and hilarious situations as well. You've got this clip right here where you got a player flying in due to the ragdoll physics of this game. I mean, you see what I mean, right? Like, this is the kind of gameplay that is just endless fun because things can play out in such endlessly chaotic and hilarious and epic ways. And there's just so much cool stuff happening, so many cool clips out there on social media about this game that it's almost hard to resist the temptation of checking out this game, seeing how like stuff like this can happen consistently throughout your gameplay experience. You can see just how many Helldivers 2 clips are going viral and just making people laugh and giving them an amazing time. So right here we have one on Twitter.
Going for you guys. I can't wait to go back home and see my mom.
So, just dumb, amazing stuff like this.
That's good. That's actually good.
Just makes this game what it is. There's even little things like how there's like a playable rock, paper, scissors mini game that you can, input your commands for selections and actually just straight up play rock, paper, scissors with a fellow trooper, if you will. Whether it's the big stuff or the little stuff, Helldivers 2 just has fun at every corner. Now, this is also a game that is suffering from success. It almost became too successful, unexpectedly so for the developers, so they were not ready for the server load that they would need to handle the influx of players, which is why if you go to Steam right now and look at the game's review score from user reviews, it's sitting at a mixed score of 68% from over 100,000 reviews. Many agree that the game's incredibly...
Yeah, this is essentially the server issues. Is that it, Yongi? Is that it? Well, shit, boys. I think it's time to yong out.
Stay tuned right here on Yong Yeah.
Yong Yeah!
I'll see you guys
I'll see you next time. Yong out! Woo! Yeah. It is what it is, boys. Anyway, this is Quizzer Citizen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.